What a sad day today. What a sad day to actually see a grilled cheese does not have any cheese at all inside of it, man. Holy crap. It's another day that we have to start off like talking about 2026 with the bad news saying that we're still in the Xbox phase where we might actually have to see that people are actually getting laid off because the game did not actually meet up with the requirement that it is. Well, technically, it's not actually Xbox. It's actually Highguard. The Highguard development team actually had to go through a very sad truth where like people don't even play the game because they think like the game is actually really bad. So they decided actually to cut off like I think like quite half of the development team. The where like the only that's left is actually like the core member of the game to actually like at least make the game still alive on the live support. So yeah, development on Highguard in the future is actually on a borrowed timer apparently right now, and it's kind of sad to see this actually happening because I kind of like Highguard. I kind of actually enjoyed Highguard. Now, do I think like Highguard is the best game ever made? No, I think like Highguard where they actually are is actually kind of bare bone. And do I think like what developers has been doing actually are doing everything right? Yes and no. Yes, they actually did add in 5v5 and did listen to players' feedback, and that's actually really good. They have been very reactive on that, really. But the no part was that I don't agree of like having High Guard being released right off the bat like that without even having any beta tests or like alpha tests going around. You gotta need before like making before you make a like a peanut butter and jelly, you gotta learn how to make yeast. You got not yeast, sorry, you gotta learn how to make a dough, you need the ingredients and that kind of shit. And at the very least, like, I would have to argue that, like, people would never actually know what the hell this game actually has all about, really, you know? Like, bringing players slowly, especially with the heats coming in into your ass, you know? I would also say, like, Jeff Keighley did actually play a part of this whole entire fault, you know? Sorry, I'm getting started right now. But anyways, Highguard is very much under the life support. I really do feel bad about it, and I don't think we all should actually celebrating the fact that like people already lost their job in this industry. We still are actually seeing people losing their job in this kind of industry, man. It's really sad, and especially I would also like put a blame on partly on the players as well because I do not know why. Well, I think like what players I think like people have been seeing like they needed like Concord 2.0 coming in to take in the baton, like Concord actually need to find their apprentice and they have to search wide and far, and then all of a sudden, yes, Highguard. Like they just give the baton on Highguard, and then like Highguard got the baton and like look everywhere else. Like, why do I even have this? Why do I even? Why I got this? And then boom, the internet actually stopped blowing up onto Highguard, and not in a good way. And it's kind of sad, really. I think like the High Guard actually would have potential if people just don't really look at it as Concord. It's kind of sad that people don't actually try their best to root for a game to succeed because like there are good games that could actually succeed, Except for Redfall, that game is disaster from the very start. That game should be burned in hell. But other than that, yeah, including Concord, I would say. Concord 2.0, sorry. Concord at the very least should have like some people to root for the game at the very least. It's not bad, but still very bare bone. There's nothing good about that game, and the game already wasted $400 million for nothing, especially with their own secret level episode people don't even care about. Really. But going back to Highguard, I just think Highguard just need more time and at least like let the developers know what they're doing, what they're dealing with. But at the very least, I think people need to calm down their tits at the very least to actually understand what the game is all about. People already go on internet saying that people don't even want hero shooter genre because it's actually hero shooter fatigue. Is that so? I don't think that actually real is real because we have gone through a thing called Souls-like fatigue, and people still love Souls-like. There are people who like Souls-like to this very day, even after 10 years of playing the same game. But I don't agree with that. I don't think hero shooter genre is getting fatigued because if it is getting fatigued, Overwatch 2 has been supposed to be long dead, but somehow that game got shot up back up to being a top again with over 100,000 players yesterday with a new update, calling renaming back from Overwatch 2 to just Overwatch with 5 new characters, and it's actually pretty cool. My rivals That game should never be actually be a thing, because at that time people don't like Marvel actually at that time, because Marvel has been making slaps, but people dig into Marvel Rivals because it's actually a pretty fun game. It's a good hero shooter game. And of course, this could be a kind of hot take, but I also do see that that log is also a hero shooter game, because it's a with different characters with different abilities, and also you can still shoot. It's just with a Dota 2 mechanic, in my opinion. But Valorant is also like that. It's also a hero shooter game, but that game is still actually being played by a lot of people, even though I still think that game is still shit. Regardless, I don't believe hero shooter fatigue is actually a real thing. I really don't. I just think that some people just been playing the same game over and over again, or probably they have been seeing the game release over and over again. That's it. And just think maybe for you, you should try out different games. And if you did try out different games, maybe it's my fault actually calling you out. I do apologize for that, but I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense in my eyes. Really, it just doesn't make any sense for Harga to actually being bombarded with a lot of hate, man. And people say, like, don't blame the players. Oh yeah, don't blame the players. Okay, in the last 24 hours when the first game released, the game has been bomb reviewed by 40,000 reviews, being like very mostly negative. I didn't see that coming at all. How the fuck did that happen? At the very least, the game did actually get better and better reviews, but like it's already too late. People already down to the rabbit hole of hate for this game. I just feel it's just unjustified, really. It's kind of sad. So I think after this, I'll probably just keep on a lookout on Highguard. I still want to play that game when they actually have a really good mechanic going around. If they have like still more changes for the map, I still want to see that shit more, man. I really do think this game Highguard actually has a good potential. But regardless, I do hope the peanut butter and jam will actually come by sooner or later. If not, I shall order a grilled cheese. Actually, grilled cheese is much more better than peanut butter jam. Let's invert that analogy, whatever. But whatever the case is, hope you have a lovely day, have a lovely night. That's it from me. Peace out, y'all.